Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the TB&J podcast. Excuse me? You're Troy.
You want to take that one over again?
Nah, fuck it. You're Troy. I'm Jeff. You're D.
Oh, I ate chips. We're back, baby!
Are you sure we don't want to start this one again? I guess not.
TB&J!
We'll do it live.
We're live, baby. TB&J! Wow. We are... That's TB&J! That's the sound of rust. TB&J!
I assure you, I have no idea what you're talking about.
It also doesn't help that Jeff made us eat 10 pounds of sugar before we started.
You had 2 chocolates.
Yeah.
What are you talking
we're
about?
We're all sugared up now.
You're fine. Anyway.
But we're talking Black Panther.
Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. A.k.a. Black
Cha-cha.
Panther 2. If you're unfamiliar with the way we do things around here, everything initially gets a thumbs up or a thumbs down, and then we talk about it, and then it gets a letter grade at the end. So, Troy, thumbs up, thumbs down on Wakanda Forever.
I'm thumbs up.
D.
I want to go last.
Fuck. I want to say thumbs up, but I feel like it's a down.
Okay.
Then I'll go thumbs up.
Okay. Did you just want to be the... Making me look like the contrarian?
I didn't want there to not be a thumbs down.
Okay. That's fair for this, I think.
I was like, I can't let this just be like a thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Like,
no, it
has to have controversy, and I wanted to, kind of share that. So, I like so many things about this movie, but
yeah, I don't hate the film.
Also, nonplussed.
Yeah, it was
except for the Chadwick memorial, which
at the beginning,
and this requiem, just the entire thing that the movie has to do. It did an amazing job. It's beautiful. It's a requiem. It's a funeral. In the end, it's like any funeral. It's a little hollow because
they're missing.
It's missing. It doesn't. I'm not saddened by it. I have hope. Like for the future, but it's still like it. It's a you laugh at funerals. Yeah, you'd get drunk with people. At funerals. But then and you're done.
We certainly have enough Irish and Italian in our blood that our funerals are usually an uproarious occasion.
But there's always that kind of, it's a veneer, and that's how this movie felt to me. It was like it was just a requiem. Like it was. It did all it could. I think it's good. I'm not like into it. I wasn't like, and this is coming from someone that, like the trailer. When I saw the original teaser trailer, like whatever months ago, I watched it like 1,000 times. Like that's
Me too,
some of the stuff like I watch cinema for. Like that's like that is to me right now probably the best trailer I've seen ever. Like it beat whatever, and it's not hard I think to like up the ante each for these trailers.
Sure.
But like that was excellent, and it was so cool. And the movie, I think, did a good job of having a different story, a different outcome. It didn't. I think it broke formula a bit while still keeping the Marvel thing going.
Right. They rotate back to it a little bit, but for the most part, it's not really a Marvel.
It does feel a little tacked on. Like the scenes that are the Marvel through lines are honestly not really connected to the story.
Yeah,
we're telling it. It's pretty obvious.
Yeah.
So
the stuff with what's his name from The Office,
and I love him, and
Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
I love all that. I love all that. I like all that. It's just it's in the middle of this movie, and it's a 3-hour movie almost.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like it needed to be.
And especially since that's all stuff that connects to what's probably going to be the next movie.
Right.
Yeah, because they're going to have to introduce Shuri into the Avengers or whatever the next initiative. I don't know if they're going to keep the name Avengers if they remake the team. It might just be like the New Avengers or they might just call themselves Earth's Mightiest Heroes.
I just don't think they really need to tack on these like token white guy scenes. No,
woof.
They don't even interact with the rest of the.
No. She breaks him out of jail.
He's just like their whipping boy.
Which
he has to be saved every
he's a
movie.
fugitive now, right?
Yeah, he has to be saved every thing. This is classic for the Coulsons. He's clearly like the new Coulson.
Right.
Oh,
and
absolutely.
I do love him. He is great.
He's very
Martin
charismatic.
Freeman can truly do no wrong. If people still like him after the Hobbit movies,
guys, let's be serious. He's got to die. If Marvel has any guts, they kill him eventually, right?
Yeah, absolutely they do.
Oh, he's the Coulson. They're the Avengers. They have to avenge something.
and he probably will not get his own TV series after that. So
who knows,
they
man?
learned there. But in while we're on that topic, and just because we tangent anyway, I was very surprised to understand if you guys haven't heard this because we haven't done news in however long so long, but Thunderbolt Ross was played by.
I know exactly where we're going with
the
this.
Late, William Hurt, was that? What was his name?
No, not William Hurt.
What was his name? Either way, he has now apparently been replaced with Harrison Ford.
I heard
Han Solo.
You're right. He was portrayed by William Hurt.
Okay, for some reason I was picturing a different person.
And so I was very surprised at that. Mainly because I don't see those guys as the same, but
they are very different people.
Like I would if you did like Redford, like if you replaced that character with him, I would have gotten it.
He also,
but
I don't know why he's so iconic as Thunderbolt Ross. He's in like 2, maybe 3 movies, and he's only
4
important in 4 of them.
Civil War, Infinity War, Endgame, and Black Widow.
War is
okay,
the big
Endgame.
one.
Yeah,
Civil War is the big one.
Yeah,
right?
Civil War is the big one, right?
And
then
that's,
obviously
and
Hulk.
that's like the pivotal one that he really reestablishes himself in. But
did you see who's taking up the role in Captain America 4?
That's what we were just
I'm
talking
sorry.
about.
I'm sorry.
I said he's picked up by Harrison Ford, Han Solo.
I was reading. I tuned
no,
you
I
out.
gotcha. So yeah, and I said he doesn't seem that they don't seem like the same actor.
No,
Like I said, Robert Redford, he has that character that he plays in MCU, and I think like, I could see him replacing him if that happened. But like Thunderbolt Ross seems like a different.
now
guy.
I'm all caught up.
Yeah,
Okay.
like I could see like Sam Elliott taking over William Hurt. I could see like somebody like that. You know.
It's funny you say that. Sam
different.
Elliott did play Hurt or Thunderbolt Ross in the Hulk movie.
See what I mean?
So, the Ang Lee one?
That's
Yeah.
his look. That's
so, like,
his look.
I mean, if they had brought Sam Elliott back to do that role,
That would have been kind of interesting, actually.
It would have wrapped that universe in a little bit, maybe, or at least the fans would have felt it was something like that.
yeah, interesting.
So maybe they deliberately didn't cast Sam
so
Elliott.
so let's get back then. Sorry for the change. I just wanted to note some
No, it's
news
all right.
in the
But before you
multiverse
switch
of
off it,
the
I have
Marvel.
one more question about it. Do you think that because it's very different people, do you think they're just going to Red Hulk him immediately and try to do just the voice?
Maybe.
Because also, Harrison Ford's like also 85.
Is he gonna motion capture?
Absolutely not. He keeps injuring himself on every set that he's on.
he does
There's
injure
no
himself a
way.
lot.
And he's going to do an Indiana Jones. I don't know how that's going to happen.
I don't.
Carefully.
Interesting. Yeah, he's gotta only play like. He might only offer the voice or something. I don't know. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a couple scenes early on as himself, and then they just CGI the whole thing with somebody else and just give him the voice.
Yeah,
That could be it. Who knows?
Yeah.
There's no way Harrison Ford. I was
But-
surprised. He's like, all right. I mean, but Harrison Ford's like, all right, I'll do some money.
Yeah.
I'll have some money.
He'll literally do anything if
wanna-
it makes him $1 billion.
How much money you got? Yeah, a
Oh,
lot of
you're
money.
redoing Star Wars that I said I never wanted to be in again? You offered me more money than God? Yeah, I guess I'll do it.
All right. That's a lot of money.
Yeah, I guess.
Will you kill me?
Please
Yes, we
kill-
will kill Harrison Ford.
Whoa!
We will kill Han Solo. That's not what I meant.
You fucked up your own joke there,
I
buddy.
did. It was supposed to end up there anyway, but anyway,
Wow.
let's talk about this movie.
All these fans who came to see Black Panther. Okay.
Troy, you're the biggest thumbs up, I think. What was your favorite part?
I'm the biggest thumbs up. I think I'm also the biggest thumbs up on the first movie out of the three of us. I think that you guys are a little bit like
We never
little
covered the
less
first
on.
one.
No, but I'm just saying in general, off of previous conversations.
Yeah, I mean, I guess so.
I liked this movie a lot, it does have issues that I do want to like really, really
So
touch
to
on.
answer my question of what your favorite part was.
Oh, what's my favorite part?
Yes.
I missed that. Sorry.
You guys are bad podcasters.
I know, right? You don't do it for a week because there's nothing out, and then all of a sudden it's like
We haven't been together in a while. We're getting a rhythm. All right,
amateur
go,
hour
go.
up in here.
I really liked probably all of the sparing moments that Winston Duke was on screen as M'Baku. I think that he's probably my favorite character out of all of these characters.
Pretty good.
Pretty
good.
And this is also like this is maybe the best acting in a Marvel movie so far.
You
It's
think
got
so?
some big sort of like thespian sort of scenes in it, like a lot of like yelling and speeches and
Angelica Houston? Is it
Angela Bassett.
Angela Bassett? Sorry. Angelica Houston. That's like the Addams lady, right? That was like from Addams Family, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was way up. Okay. Angela Bassett. She is. If she doesn't get some kind of at least Oscar
She's incredible, yeah.
conversation going on here, she's incredible in this movie.
Absolutely.
And this is again. I mean, they had to use it in the trailer. Have I not given everything? I mean, it's just.
She actually hits it harder, I thought, in the movie than the trailer. I watched the trailer so many times.
It's a really well written speech. It's a really beautiful scene. I mean, that has to be for me. And that's a good moment in the movie because it wasn't what I thought it more. My speculation, obviously, it didn't happen in the beginning of the movie, but like when they have the whole council with France and America and Richard Schiff,
The UN meeting.
Richard Schiff's going to be here, baby. West Wing in the house.
Yeah.
Richard Schiff. We got Toby Ziegler.
There you go.
I need an air horn noise on the,
We need an air horn.
Best president speechwriter of the world. Now in the MCU for real. He's also the man that burned Michael in Burn Notice.
That's true. I remember that.
Well, at least one of them. Kind.
It was a lot because they had to keep making that plot.
He
more
was the guy
convoluted.
that like pushed the paperwork. He's like, I'm just the tip of the iceberg, literally.
Yeah.
Toby Ziegler.
These are all shows I haven't seen.
Anywho, that's all for my West Wing fans. What?
If you want to watch a real schlocky spy
watch Burn
dramedy,
Notice. It's great. I will start a Burn Notice podcast with anyone. Right.
Maybe.
Yeah.
We did do Firefly.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. Digression. So yeah,
you were saying the speech was your favorite part?
Yeah.
I was saying all the M'Baku scenes.
All the big dramatic speeches. Okay, sure.
Just
also not what I said.
No, what I was saying was that speech is in a good scene, which is I thought it was going to be with the French and with the that scene where like something in the beginning, maybe it was like during the snap or something. That was my speculation early on, and I think what it ended up is the scene that she's really given it to
the general
of the Dora Milaje. I always forget her name. Okoye. And she like lays it all out for her. She's like, you were on duty when my husband died. You were on duty when my son is dead. Like
Killmonger
took over. Like this,
and and you sided with
it
him
all out. And she's like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. You've blown through enough fucking chances. Good fucking bye, bitch.
Mm-hmm. And Okoye's great too. There's no way you can bounce off of that. And I think she does a pretty good job at like acting with that.
Sure. But it was a lot of fucking. It was really fucking intense.
Of
in that
being
scene.
torn down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Just like fucking destruction of the general after Shuri gets
she's
kidnapped.
letting out, and you know she's letting out so many other frustrations in general, including the potential grieving of her daughter, who may be very well dead at that stage. She
has no idea.
So it's crazy. I like the not Atlanteans. That's gonna be
they're legally not Atlanteans because I think there's some sort of weird
Tola.
There's something like that.
It ends with Khan. I know that.
Tola Khan.
Something like that.
I think Tola Khan. Yeah.
So the Toycon are cool. They are badass. I liked the changes. It all worked for me. Like this movie did a ton of world building for the MCU. Ton of it. This is their end of Phase 4 apparently. So it established it finally
Still
gets
can't
back
believe they didn't
to
do fucking Fantastic Four in Phase 4.
Unreal, right?
Dude, it's
So
fucking
stupid.
insane.
They just couldn't make it happen.
Yeah,
It just didn't
no.
work. Why force that? Because that
No, you're right.
Why force
it's still
that?
just
Wait, the meta joke is really good there. Why force that?
Oh, boo.
But I'm forcing it. I'm forcing.
Yeah, I got it. Now it's the best part is when you explained it. I've never heard that drop before.
You're welcome.
That's a new one.
Well placed. So yeah, I there's things that I like about it. It's just, and it's shot well. It's just it ends up not ever blowing me away the way it does. But then I think back to any individual moment, and I like Namor.
I think
I like the explanation of him and his name, and I like his power set. I think people were, and I want to get everybody's impression of his winged feet and all that kind of stuff. I fucking loved it. I fucking thought it was awesome.
The main thing that was running through my head during all of his fight scenes was I'm just like, this guy has literal baby little pigeon wings on his feet, his bare feet, and he's somehow really good. Like, how'd they make it cool?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you think as well?
Absolutely. It was pretty fucking cool.
Because okay. I feel like people would. I don't know that I distinctly heard this argument from people on the internet and outside it, but like, I feel like it's the type of thing where people go like, "Well, the physics of that is stupid." Like, so he has these little things that are actually his like feet, like a bird. So like, all right,
I mean, fucking the Greek god Hermes had wings on his feet.
Yeah, and that's the thing is like it made him fleet of foot, right? Like supposed to, and it is like this just ancient person's idea of how speed works,
Right?
Like of how oh, he's like a bird. Oh, it makes him fat. Like they don't get how it works. They just said like it's symbolic of fast things, so we put it there, and it doesn't necessarily work. But what he does, it's basically like, well, he is super strong. So let's say that these wings are able to lift his body, right? Mm-hmm. Like if he stiffens up, right? Like if he just sat there, it would like lift his foot, right? If he's lying down, like, and he just starts fluttering his feet, like I bet it just lifts up his foot, right?
Probably.
And it could like pull him up from that, I guess, right? For like that's how it could work. But he stands, and he, tightens his core, and
man's got abs,
and he lifts the whole body. It's just like levitation from below, right? And I'm like, oh, okay. If I believe that the wings can lift him up in the first place, then I believe that it can do all the rest of it, right? Like he can, it gets him like a vertical stop. It kind of gets him like a slide on the air where he can kind of like, the wings can flip back and he can kind of
like
walk.
Drift.
It's walking on air, right? It's like
I'm walking on air.
so it makes sense that like it's like his feet, which are attached to the rest of his body, are just these two birds. Like, and it's like, okay, I get that, and it works, and it looks, and it's a really cool effect because he's just like that. He's propelled by below his feet or at his feet, and it's like that's a different way to fly. And if assuming the physics, maybe if you're strong enough, you can lift. You don't look like you're just being dragged by your feet.
The second he mentioned that he's had those wings since birth and that he's thousands of years old, I immediately was like, all right, cool. I'm just going to suspend my disbelief.
Yeah.
I'm done. He's had thousands of years to practice and hone it.
This physics problem in Marvel is not their worst one.
Yeah, no. I was fully happy.
Everything about Iron Man is way worse.
Yeah,
yeah.
Iron Man would literally, and we have sort of a proto Iron Man in this movie,
Ironheart,
and she would 100% be paced even more than he is sometimes.
Yeah, fucking the Black Panther suit's ability to like absorb kinetic energy and turn it into like potential energy. I'm like, that's complete physics
At least
bullshit.
They try to explain
at least
that.
That's
though.
the explanation for it.
Yes,
that this stuff absorbs it, and it's already established in the MCU from the vibranium.
Yeah.
Iron Man's suit is made of iron.
He built it in a cave
with a box of scraps.
With a box of scraps.
Vibranium scraps.
Sorry if I blew out my audio there, listeners.
So yeah, like it is like he has to. I don't know. Like yeah, it all doesn't make sense unless you have vibranium, and that's apparently the whole metal wars and armor wars that's going to be happening in the MCU soon, because that is clearly like Val's moment of like, can you imagine like what would happen if can you imagine what would it be like if the U.S. was the only place that had vibranium? She's like, I dream of it,
and I'm like, okay. That's fucking terrible.
It's terrifying.
All right, I'm gonna real quick go over my favorite part, and then we can do the bad things about this movie. The fucking scene where where Namor and all of the we just said what they were. Hang on, I've got it right here. They are Talocans. When they assaulted the U.S. ship and just completely destroyed and obliterated all those seals, and that like tiny little horror bit where they're in the suits
siren song
way down in the bottom of the ocean, and she looks over and the other guy's just gone. The cable's just severed. I was like, holy shit, what movie did I sign up for?
I didn't understand the jellyfish thing in the beginning.
I think it's just observing a jellyfish. I don't think it had any actual importance.
Okay.
Phantom jellyfish, I don't even know if those are real things. I don't want to pretend to know anything I don't. But I did genuinely think that was like a non-sequitur.
I forgot, the sirens was a really cool effect. And this was one of the things that I liked about these guys that was there's some weird, stupid stuff, I think. Like the stuff you see in Aquaman is all also, I think, in Atlantean. So I'm glad that they kind of toned that down and made it much more realistic. And I really do like the whole portrayal of that. It seems like it's so funny because with this movie and Namor and all that they are like punching right along with the Pandoras and the Aquaman.
I heard people be like, man, James Cameron must be pissed at this movie.
I want to interrupt for 2 seconds.
Okay.
The phantom jellyfish is a real thing.
Okay.
First discovered in 1899, and in the thousands of dives the world has done since 1899, it's only been seen 9 times. In 123 years, we've only seen it 9 times. That so seeing it underwater there and why she got starstruck.
How many of those are the modern era?
Most of them.
Because I don't believe it if it's like 1929. Like, yeah, totally saw one
No,
right
no,
off
no.
the harbor.
It was discovered in 1899, but scientists didn't recognize it as its own species until 60 years later in 1959. So most of those 9 sightings are between 60 and today.
So what you're saying is somebody discovered it and somebody else went, nah, I totally saw that before too.
Yep.
I actually discovered it before you.
Well,
so
the thing about science is that we date everything. So we could prove that it's 1899.
We dated with carbon.
Yeah.
Okay.
Back in my day, we dated carbon all the time. We were like, hey, carbon, you're a fine-looking
we
fellow.
were carbon 14 dating. I was carbon dating at 14.
Yeah. Copulating all my atoms and neutrons and protons.
So, yeah, the sirens was like a nice, subtle kind of like one of the weird things that Atlanteans
I kind of like that
did.
they didn't explain it, that they weren't just like
it's just the siren call.
Yeah.
Like it's perfect. It's a classic thing of the sea. It's creepy, right? It's like,
so I know that Jeff specifically has a fear of the open ocean.
Yep.
And when they
Thessalophobia.
Phasalophobia, yes, sir.
When all the heads just popped up out of the water and it was just black silhouettes of heads in the water, and I wanted to turn to you and just be like, hey, you doing okay, bud?
That doesn't get me.
No?
What gets me is being in the ocean myself or under the water and just seeing the infinite blackness and not knowing what's there. That gets me. There's a video game called Subnautica that I very desperately wanted to get behind, but I just fucking can't.
Though,
I can't play it.
Though I... like human heads wouldn't bother me.
No.
Because I'd be more like, oh, good humans. Like I'd be happy with humans.
Yeah. Oh, you're not a man-eating shark.
Humanoid
That's cool.
What would terrify me, and what does terrify me, is like you watch Castaway, and there's a scene where, spoiler alert, he gets off the island. Eventually.
Castaway that came out in like '97.
Spoiler alert for Castaway. He gets off the island. He's on this little tiny raft, and it's the middle of the night, and there's like a fucking giant whale that like just raises right in front of him. but it's right in fucking front of his tiny raft. And it just comes up, and he's just sitting, and he just stares at it. He's fucking done. Like, he doesn't give a fuck. But, like, I'm just like, oh, my God. I would be like that. I would be like, fuck.
Yep.
I would not look at that and say, oh, you're just looking at me. It would just be like death.
Yeah, like, I'm just gone.
Like, he could just be like, meh. And you're done. Your raft is gone.
Your raft is destroyed. You're stranded in the middle of open
that
water.
was creepy. Like, that would creep me out. I think I'd be okay with just the water, though. The water, I wouldn't be happy on a raft. But if I'm on a raft, I'd be good. If I'm just in the water, I'm fucked. Because I can't see underneath. I get you.
Yep,
if I'm in the water. But if I'm on a raft, I'm fine. I'd be on a raft, I'd be okay. But if something came up and was there bigger than me and can knock me off it, then I'd be freaked out.
Even when I'm in a swimming pool, as soon as I can't touch the bottom anymore, I start freaking out
It
internally.
is, yeah, you can have that. Do you ever did you guys pretend there was a shark in the pool when you were a kid?
Oh, absolutely.
Some people are like, no, what are you talking about?
Absolutely, I did.
People, it's like some people don't scare themselves when they're kids. Some people don't pretend there's a monster chasing them and be like, I gotta get home. Like,
I did that all the time too.
I did this all the time. I pretended there was a shark in the water, and then I would get creeped out, and I'd be like, "Fuck!" I could feel it in my I did this all the time. What the fuck else are you doing as a kid?
You know what's funny? My sisters and I, we saw Deep Blue Sea as when it came out.
Deepest, bluest.
Yeah, it was fucking. And now as an adult, I realize that movie is fucking god awful in a funny way.
Awesome.
But when I was a kid, it scared the shit out of me and my sisters. So the pool was super scary for us as a kid, even though we loved going in. And anyway,
wow, I love that movie. Was scary to you. It was so funny from the get-go.
Yeah, when I was a kid,
kill these motherfucking sharks.
I was 5 or 6 when I saw it, man. I was a little kid.
I love that you were little.
Yeah, you forget that our age gap. You voted for Truman, and I voted for Obama.
Listen, you came out smoking cigars and voting.
I was so excited to turn 18 so I could vote.
You had a tax ledger when you came out. I'm saying you were old when you were born.
You're not wrong.
Okay.
All right, let's go into problems with this movie.
Before we go into problems, I just want to say one thing real fast about
10 seconds. Go.
I don't think
9.
Quiet you. But I had a hard time with favorite scene because I feel like the thing that I like about this movie, I feel like I'm operating off of just vibes with this movie. I like the themes behind it. I like the characters. I like all the acting. I like that it's not a weird misunderstanding. It's just two people who just genuinely disagree on how to keep vibranium away from everybody else.
Yeah.
And and again, it's
there's
a movie.
No great set piece for this movie.
No, there's not a huge moment. But
not that it doesn't have.
It doesn't have. It does have moments. Yeah.
It's just that nothing stands out.
There's no Darth Maul double lightsaber moment.
Right.
And that's I feel like that's like soft backhanded praise or something like that. Like it's almost attached. But I don't want it to sound like that. It's just that in the end it doesn't wow me. Is what it did. It is what I meant by it's saying it's this requiem. It never lets you get there because it knows you don't If you did get there, it wouldn't be right. But that's crazy. It just ends up having that effect because, why would you make a movie like that, right? It should have those moments. It should have this kind of
It had a couple of big reveals, like when Ironheart revealed her suit and when Shuri comes down as the Black Panther. But it
and the Predator arm grab. I wanted them to say "you son of a bitch" so bad when they grabbed each other's arms.
I so wanted that. I always want that whenever people do the full ass arm grab.
When her and M'Baku do the arm wrestle.
Yeah. But man, can we bitch about this movie yet?
Yeah, we are bitching about it.
So I don't know if this is this movie specifically. It's more of a gripe that I have with a lot of movies lately. But this movie is the most recent and it highlights it.
Sure.
I miss having bad guys. I miss there being an actual bad guy. Like James Bond on a table with a laser. This is just two shades of gray going at each other.
Okay. Let's back up a second.
Okay.
Because every Marvel movie of late has had a bad guy.
This one didn't.
Okay, this one. Okay.
I mean, Namor's not great.
Oh, okay, wait, let me back up.
I'm complaining about this movie specifically.
Let me back up and say that, like, okay, so maybe you're thinking, like, okay, in a way, Doctor Strange fights Spider-Man kind of in his movie, and Doctor Strange fights Scarlet Witch in their movie. So I guess I see what you're saying, in that they're a complicated villain who is borderline a potential protagonist of the future, right? Like, they're not a full villain. They're not a mustache-twirling villain.
Right.
That,
Namor in
right.
the comics
It
and this
has
movie is
been-
never evil.
It has been that trend, you might argue, in those movies, because even Osborn is clearly...
Osborn's a very sympathetic villain.
In the most recent version. And again, like I said, Scarlet Witch is absolutely... the
Sympathetic.
villain and sympathetic. Like there's no doubt that she's a gray. She's not a straight villain, even though she's played awesome. She's a great villain in that movie.
Fuck yeah. Elizabeth Olsen. is
She's
amazing.
also maybe the best Marvel villain.
Yeah. So you're sick of those things, but at the same time, it's like, well, Marvel's biggest issue over the first whole phases of the Infinity Saga was that we didn't have any villains except Thanos. It was just that. Everybody else is dead. Everybody else gets killed. Now there's a bunch of you can't keep, like, I mean, okay, so you have Kingpin out there, you have Abomination out there, you have villains, and some of them they're only out there because they can play not the villain. But a lot of these are villains, and if we get more into, like, the Thunderbolts or, like, the Dark Avengers, like, these are absolutely fucking villains, but it doesn't mean that the public views them that way. And that's, I think, what we're leaning on, is that, like, in the real world, there are no fucking villains. Like, they wouldn't be that. They would be people that are supported or not. And the best thing they did with Thanos was kind of, he's doing this villainous thing, but he's doing it for, like, this arguably sacrificial, noble reason. He doesn't, expect to be thanked necessarily for it, but it is for this reason.
I see what you mean.
So it's just like, one of the benefits of it. Like, if they had kept the original motivation, it would be to impress Death. And that would have been, like,
that's
pretty
so-
stupid.
That's-
And that's why fucking Justice League fucking blows Darkseid, who's just like, I want to take over another one. Why? Because. Why not?
There's enough.
Yeah, more. Okay. Cool.
Also, I want to go back and do a retcon. It's not a complaint, but I can't believe I didn't think about it. The best scene in the movie is Killmonger. I don't know why I forgot about it.
Oh yeah, Michael B. Jordan showing up when she takes
that's
jug.
actually the best scene in the movie. I don't know what I was thinking.
Yeah, that was pretty fucking epic. I was expecting, like, something else. I wasn't expecting a cameo from Michael B. Jordan. That was really good.
I did call it.
He did call it. He turned to me in the theater.
I
and he
heard
was like,
you guys-
Michael B. Jordan, and I was like, nah, it's got to be like her mom or somebody else, right?
I just love Michael B. Jordan in everything. Yeah,
Yeah.
No, it makes sense, and it's,
and I can say that because I didn't see Fantastic Four.
and it's one of those things where it's like, oh man, they're gonna eat up their own mythology. And it's just like, it's so dumb because, like, you have clearly established that the astral plane, you can see the people that have passed, and, like, how are you going to get away with not showing Chadwick, or you're going to have to do it in some stupid way where you don't actually show him, or you CG, like, what are you going to do that's going to make it dumb?
Yep.
And
Especially since you
they're
fucking
still-
threw his kid at us in the
they're
end
still
scene.
in that. Well, they're still kind of in that situation where it's like, that'll always. Like, even if we get this new, even if they did the classic replacement of, like, he's Asa T'Challa. It's like, the next movie will be in 10 years, and
T'Challa.
T'Challa. So,
Prince T'Challa, son of King T'Challa.
right. So he's like, I don't, like, even then.
That's one of my complaints.
Even then, why wouldn't you have Chadwick come to the nude to go in the next movie? Like, that would be the classic scene. Like, again, it's always like, it's gonna always be there that, like, Chadwick is not there to play a role that if he was a dead father of the next Black Panther, then you would see him again. He would be Obi-Wan Kenobi in this whole fucking thing.
Yep.
He'd be Ghost Jedi.
But him and I know it's a child actor, and I don't want to harp on that too much. But in the end credit scene when he's explaining his name, I was like, it starts off kind of strong, and then the more they talk, I'm like, okay, it's getting a little like George Lucas-y here. I can't.
Yeah.
Really, the dialogue's not amazing.
Nah, it's a little.
When him describing his name was a little over the
Did you
edge.
guys ever watch Beer Fest? I think it was called.
No.
No, I feel like you talked about this before.
I don't think I have, but
Okay.
it is. So it is fucking hilarious. Do you Super Troopers? Have you heard of that?
Of course.
Okay, so it's their other movie. It is, I think, by far one of the best ones. But basically, they have one guy who's like the big in Super Troopers is the heavier guy. It's his character, and he's like Moose or something like that. I don't know. I don't remember what the thing is, but he's like their heavy drinker. But like in the third act or the end of the second act, like he's killed by the competition, like he's murdered, and. Like, oh no, this is, and it's like, oh, I can't believe
is this
they
where
killed the
his?
character. And then, like, in the next scene at the end, like, his twin brother comes in, and he's just like, hey, like, I'd like to join you guys. And, like, actually, if you wouldn't mind, I'd hope you call me Moose. Like, or, like, whatever it is. And they just clearly replace him and erase the entire death scene. And it's hilarious.
I don't know if you told me about this, but I have heard of
Is that what
this.
they just fucking did here? Like, did they just moose him? I don't even know if that's a fucking name, although it might be. Holy shit, that's literally what they did. He's like, and maybe you could call me
Right.
T'Challa.
Yeah.
But even if they didn't do like the fake name thing, if they just started off by saying that he was like, if they didn't say his name for a while and then they were just like, and his name is like, it would still be that. But this whole sort of roundabout way, and then the kid like triumphantly saying it, I was like, okay, this is a little forced.
Absolutely, it's forced. They were just playing on our heartstrings, and I wasn't there for
Well,
it.
he says, well, that's just my Haitian name.
Yeah.
And it's like a really kind of. Yeah, you're right. It's like
We get it.
They make the kids say it, so you can't feel too bad about the
Yeah.
delivery. And like, I was like, that's a weird line to have him say.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It was fucking strange.
I didn't. Doctor Strange.
He's not even in this movie.
Wasn't he?
I think
There's just a sling ring in the background somewhere. He's like getting
Look at this
groceries.
scene. Look at this scene. He's just like clearly there's people being helped. He's helping all along the way. Look at the movie again.
I want to know how you guys feel about this, because I don't know if this is a complaint I have or just an observation yet. But basically, after Shuri is down in the underwater city with Namor, and he's showing her around, I immediately knew how the rest of the movie was going to go. Because it's like
he will show her the world.
she becomes sympathetic towards the people, and even though they're going to butt heads and they're going to have a battle where somebody's going to die,
They will have butts on their
I bet I was
heads.
betting on the general dying to protect the queen in my
He
head. I
was
didn't realize the queen
betting
was
on
going to
the
die,
general.
but in retrospect, I should have bet on that.
In retrospect, I know.
I don't need a
a whole
harmonizer.
new world.
I could just mute your mic. There we go. Magic bananas. No, I won't.
Magic bananas.
Look at that. Oh, look at that. He's gone. Look at that. And so like,
It's an audio format.
I didn't enjoy that I knew how it was going to go. Like, oh, these people are sympathetic. They're just regular dudes in their city. Namor just has a different viewpoint. So they're going to butt
Just
heads.
a
There's going to
different
be a fight.
viewpoint.
And then they're going to settle their differences, and they're probably going to be allies. And sure enough, it's exactly what fucking happens. And
Well,
I didn't...
So I do like the fact that they're hinting that he's like, okay, yeah, this is a politics move. Like at the end, and I do, and I do like that.
Fucking
Don't you
theater
remember
kids.
when we
Troy,
used
they're
to-
the worst.
Don't you remember we used to derail you guys all the time, and we watched you slowly get upset? Don't you remember this was the show? Did you forget, Jeffrey?
But I do like that the movie's not very heroic. There's not a whole lot of heroing.
There
It's
isn't.
just it's two people have a political disagreement and then they go to war and a lot of people die.
But
and then there's-
there is a lot of heroines.
Are you talking about the Clone Wars, or are you talking about
Heroine.
Black Panther 2? It was a joke, because you said political wars.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. There's not a lot of heroing, I guess.
There's like a little-
there's
I mean,
espionage. there's
she
kind of
takes
stuff
the
going on.
herb for vengeance and not for heroism or anything righteous.
I mean, it's in the same sense that like the Winter Soldier movie was heroine.
Sure.
It was all kind of behind the scenes of the real world doesn't see this fight going on. it's not on the world stage.
Mhm.
It's on the espionage stage, but it's not on the world stage per se, even though it has glimpses of that. And then it the only things that we see is like Riri Williams was, I thought, a bright spot.
I think she's great too. Yeah.
What I thought,
Oh, yeah.
I really liked the actress. Apparently, she was originally up for the role of Shuri, so she was kind. They kind of share it. And I see. Okay, yeah, I can see them going in that direction as well. But with Riri, and I don't know the character of Riri in the books, but what I noticed is that so we have these. And these are the characters, but like we literally have all like female versions of Avengers in a number of areas. We have a female Hawkeye, we have a new Black Widow, we have Miss Marvel, we have Stature for like a coming for an Ant-Man, and what I think I noticed is like the Hawkeye and Miss Marvel and the new Black Widow. I feel like we're all the same person.
Sure.
They're kind of the snarky, wisecracky, laugh in the face of danger, femme fatale, snark.
Yeah,
like it's all that. They're all Emma Stone.
Black Widow gets a pass from me just because I like Florence Pugh more than Scarlett Johansson, but that's literally the only reason. But it's still the same character.
And so it's always good when you see that. And don't get me wrong, Miss Marvel, Iman is good. I like her acting in this. She's a little more awkward, but like I feel like her awkward is just the same thing that we're seeing with Hawkeye, like, and I'm like, okay. And then I see Riri, and she's a different vibe. Like she's dealing with similar shit, but she heads it on differently. Like she is more of a Tony Stark-esque kind of in control person. I just like her. I wish one of these characters came from a bigger position of power. Like Tony Stark was always in control.
Right.
He always had money. Like none of them are like that. Like Hawkeye came from money, but she's always like an underdog. Like they're all presented as underdogs or like cheating or kind of stealing or sneaky. And I'm like, no, why doesn't any of them like run a room? Like they're all kind of like this demurring thing. And Riri's kind of the closest thing that I saw that wasn't that. She's kind of like fuck this amount, and I like that about her. But I think she was relegated to comic relief in this. I'm hoping that there's a little bit. I feel like there's already something else to it, but her whole
she'll definitely be in something. They also her America Chavez.
She has her own show. Ironheart.
Yeah, right. Yeah. But her America Chavez, Miss Marvel, eventually Miles Morales, who hasn't shown up yet. Like they all
America Chavez was like the same thing too.
Right. But they all end up in the Champions in the comic books right now, and I don't know if they're going that route, but and they have a Hulk in there, so I'm wondering if they're going to try to do something about it. No, well, they could use him instead, but there's a different Hulk. They just introduced
Scar
right
at the end of fucking She-Hulk. I don't see why.
Yeah, I think they're referring to Hulkling though, who's actually a Skrull, not a Hulk.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a whole thing.
I don't think we're ever going to see Viv Vision, but
we are. Oh no, we're getting a new Vision show.
We are getting a Vision.
100%, we're getting a Vision show.
Okay, maybe I'm wrong about Viv Vision.
It's called the Grand White Vision.
Okay. Oh no.
Wait a second.
Oh no.
Did you just make that up?
Yeah.
Okay, so they did Black Panther, and now they're like, okay, we get a pass.
Did you actually go to that far right movie watching thing at that bar? Tonight?
What do you mean?
Oh, whose children are they?
Well,
2,000 mules, you guys! The ballot boxes!
So many mules, man.
Oh my
God. These mules, these fucking mules. Okay.
D, what's a complaint you had with the movie beyond what I've said and what we've already touched on? Something new.
I have one after this.
Too much. I mean, just some like. I mean, again, suspension of disbelief, but like, or lack of storytelling and geography to be like, where the fuck is Wakanda? How is it flooded?
That's a good point.
I mean, yeah.
I'm pretty sure it was like pretty landlocked.
It's a good
They
point.
were like a hidden.
I didn't even think about that until just this moment. It feels
That is-
very
I
Jurassic
was
Park,
like-
T-Rex cage. You're right. Oh shit.
Yeah, that's a good point, man.
You know, then there was just like
And before anybody comments, oh, actually, they have
I-
tons of rivers and lakes.
I
Shut up.
don't.
Just shut up.
I don't. I don't like. I understood the plan that they had. I think that plan goes to shit. I mean, was there ship vibranium? I don't know. Like
It must have been.
Like, is it? Are they saying? Were they? That's a lot. I don't know. I guess they have it all, but like, were they saying that like Namor couldn't
Just rip through the
fucking
ship.
rip through that like Thor? Like they're saying he is, and I want him to be. Namor should be like epic scale.
I mean, he's
hero.
a literal god.
He's he is Thor and Hulk level.
Yeah.
You do not want to get punched like this, like M'Baku finds out, and he, oh my God, she had his armor on. Okay, but like, yeah,
Should have died.
like
I'm glad he
and
lives because I love him.
I
But yes,
assume-
you're right.
I assume that should be vibranium,
Unless like Namor really pulled that punch, I don't see.
and he didn't. That was the
No.
whole thing.
Yeah, Namor is a character who legitimately does not care about killing anybody in his way. So
he was
Yeah.
good.
and hasn't talked about.
the
I like him.
I liked the look. I liked the whole like Aztec background, the change to their heritage and how the creation of it. That's all fine. I like that. It's simplified. It's better for the MCU. And the only thing that someone pointed out to me that I was like again, cannot unsee, can't not think about is Namor. You're Aquaman, swims everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Little thick.
Yeah.
He's a little thick.
It's
I think
funny
he'd
you
have
say
a little
that.
bit of a swimmer's build,
It's funny you say that because my fiance is on TikTok,
Yeah.
and apparently there's a lot of TikTok women that are just thirsting after Namor right now.
Oh,
if you'll
no
excuse
doubt,
the pun.
no doubt, no doubt. No, he looks great. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that at all.
It's
I'm
become like
saying,
a meme to thirst after him. Though.
Oh, that's cool. No, I know. He's sexy as fuck. No, that guy's dope. That's all good. I'm just saying, a little thick.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm not saying he's not in good shape. I'm saying this is the swimming god.
He should look more
he
like
should
Michael
be
Phelps.
like, yeah, he should have the rip abs, the fucking sex lines. He should look like Brad Pitt in Fight Club. Like, I'm just saying. I'm not wrong here.
It's God
He's
powers.
a
He
little
doesn't
thick.
have to do
He's
it.
a little thick.
He's got those wings that do everything for him. He doesn't need to do it.
Fine. Yeah, I get it. But Namor is depicted in the comics as like pretty fucking cut.
Right.
He's a fucking swimmer. He wears the fucking bikini. And
Yeah, he literally wears like a tiny Speedo and
that's literally his whole thing. So it is a departure, and it is kind of like, well, I feel like you should, but I'm fine with it. Again, I love this direction with it. It's a dope idea. I don't fucking need like that. That's the thing where people are like, well, it needs to be authentic or it needs to be this. Like, well, no, that's not how it works.
yeah, and they were trying to go for a thing of like they picked like the next like biggest group of people that were tied into like European colonialism. Like there was some sort of like they tried to go for some, because I think he's originally some form of like East Asian, isn't he?
No,
I'm saying the original comic book Namor. I thought.
I don't
Am I wrong
believe
about
so.
this? Okay.
He's from the Atlantic.
I get that, yes.
The Atlantic Ocean.
I could be wrong. For some reason,
Atlantean.
I thought that I heard that he was supposed
No,
to
From
I-
Atlantis. Atlantean.
Oh, okay, never mind then. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. I must have misunderstood that somehow.
Or East Asian. No. But
So originally, Namor was the submariner.
Yep.
and- Submariner, whatever you want to call it, and that guy was East Asian. But then when they kind
No,
of
what?
turned him into something else, they
no, that wasn't true. East Asian.
the original guy, like the Submariner, And then when they turned him
It's the
into
same
Namor,
guy. No, Namor the Submariner. It's the same. There's no turning into. He's always that. What do you mean he was originally Asian?
they redid the character at some point in the
Redid
70s or
that
80s.
doesn't
It
make-
looks like
No, that's
they
not
just
true.
completely changed it. Yeah.
That's not true. No, that's true.
Okay.
That's crazy.
You can say it all you want.
That's not true.
Okay.
I just thought that I heard somewhere. I'm not attached to Asian Namor in any way, but there was something I
Wow.
wanted to. I'm just gonna keep moving. I don't know.
They
what
just went ahead and whitewashed
Move on.
that whole thing again. They were like, we have an Asian character. Guess what? He's white now.
Well, I mean,
he's
now
clear-
he's now
clearly
he's,
not
now
white.
he's as
he's
now
clearly
he's,
not white. He's Aztec. Or
I am
Incan.
saying that in the comics,
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. I understand now. I figured
he
it out.
went from Asian and you said to what? Atlantean.
Yes.
How did he read?
I don't fucking know.
he
I
read
don't
as
care
white,
anymore.
So he got whitewashed.
I don't
and now
care
they
anymore.
got-
Move on, please.
Why? No. Oh, Jeffrey's upset.
Because you're harping on something that doesn't matter. Let's get back
No.
to the movie.
This is the movie.
No, it's not.
It was about Namor.
Troy, what was your complaint?
So
Everything.
I like the chase through the city. However, do they not have any did they do any sort of explanation on how there's no cameras seeing giant whales with blue people just fly up onto the bridge and fight Wakandans when they're in the United States they
dark.
had drones, but there was a drone at one point
When?
when they were first trying to get Riri Williams and Shuri gets kidnapped. They're and then they do the car chase and then they fight on the bridge and then
when they're in Boston
yes
at MIT.
and I like the thing that they ride on the back of whales. This entrance was a little video game. The enemies spawn in the area to me. When the humpback whale and the orca come on both sides, and I'm just like,
Are they on a what city are they in?
Boston,
So they're in the Boston Harbor.
I would assume.
mm-hmm.
Where does that lead in? Is there entrances for whales?
I don't know.
Because they legit were just like, yep. I don't care about cameras dropping them off, but did the
How
waterway
big is that river?
allow for that?
Right, I was feeling that too. I like the fight scene and I like everything leading to that, but the whales and the lack of people knowing what's happening between this supposedly very hidden secret espionage war kind of threw me off a little bit.
Fair.
If they were on the bridge that crosses Interstate 90 in the Boston Harbor, then there would have been enough room.
Okay.
If it was almost any other bridge, there wouldn't have been enough room. Based on what I'm looking at here on
Can an orca survive here?
What if Namor was Asian?
Actually, you know what? They are probably on the Harvard Bridge over the Charles River because MIT is just on the other side of it. Harvard. In which case, that particular... I don't want to dwell on this too much, but that particular piece of the river would be big enough for a whale. However, the mouth of that piece of the Charles River is not big enough for a whale to squeeze through. So
Listen, that's not really as much my complaint as it just seemed kind of goofy to me at first. I like the other scenes with the whales, but this one was goofy.
Oh, yeah, they're fucking goofy AF with all the fucking coming in the water.
And so I don't know the name of the other kind of enforcer guy.
Atuma.
I
know because he was a boss fight in Marvel Ultimate Alliance.
Yeah, he is a big name. I know. I noticed him. I could tell right off he's pretty badass. He's a heavy at the start, and Namora is the other character here. We get a little bit of now. I grew up on Namorita.
I was about to ask this. I don't know if they're
kept wondering,
different.
they are different, but not. It's like Namorita has a retconned history and stuff like that as well after the fact. So when I was introduced to her, it was just his niece or his cousin or something like
Mhm.
that. I think cousin, but Namora is his cousin too. But Namora may have also is also listed as like a mother or something like that. So it's all weird. Like I don't remember all like the connections. Like so Namora was either like a lover or something like that, but then Namorita was his cousin. But the one thing about Namorita that when I was introduced to her is that she was just like a younger female Namor.
Yeah.
Like she was also not blue. And that was always a big thing about Namor is that like everyone else is blue on the surface. They all appear normal skinned underwater. But it's when they rise and that they look blue. But Namorita and Namor were the only ones that didn't.
Mhm.
Like so that was always a thing. And then eventually Namorita becomes blue. But she was always a cool character because she was from the New Warriors, and I loved that first introduction to all that. Like the New Warriors were neat because they were essentially the Teen Titans in a lot of ways. They had each of them had a lot of connections to other like larger, older heroes. So her was obviously to the Atlanteans. But yeah, I mean, like I'd be intrigued to see that character because I will always want to see the New Warriors done properly.
Yes.
But I don't know. The other than this, you know, there's these great performances by everybody in the movie. It's Wakanda's a really cool place to go back to. I love the relationship of the guy, but
I like that we actually hang out in the city a little bit more this time.
Yeah.
Last time it's sort of like, and Wakanda's this great place. We're just kind of hang out in the capital for a while, like, and that's
We do get more views of Wakanda, which is nice. I
Mhm.
do like that. However, Wakanda's not supposed to be like gigantic, right?
it's supposed to be pretty big. I think.
Yeah?
I think.
I don't think so. I thought it was pretty small.
yeah, I don't know. I don't know how big it is.
I mean, it's a country.
I mean, yeah, but it's
yeah, I mean Africa's pretty big. But either way, anything else for us to say about this one? I mean, like again, I feel like there was neat stuff in here, but nothing that got me like jazzed.
I think that the only thing that has me like as a more of a thumbs up than everybody else's, I think that the performances really carried me through. Like, there's points where it's like this doesn't really make sense, or like this isn't the best thing, or there hasn't been something that's happened in a while. Because this movie is very talky. It's a lot of stretches of people just talking.
Mhm.
But everybody does so good that I was kind of just like, yeah, I'm here for it. Like it helped me overlook a lot of the stuff I didn't like because everybody was doing so well.
Yeah, it's just it sets up. It just seems like a lot of setup and a lot of replacement. Like,
Sure.
and there was some cool stuff. I like Koye. I like some of the stuff, but like, I just wasn't that like into it. Like, there was a
Okay.
lot of characters.
Mhm.
I their personal stakes were not enough for this. Like again, it is kind of this move of like, well, the big threat isn't here yet, and I'm more intrigued to see where it goes next. But like again, it's like I didn't have any moments here. I didn't have those payoffs here.
Sure.
And I'm gonna need some people to. I'm gonna need some real stakes, and fortunately, even though they don't have Chadwick Boseman, they've killed the Black Panther in that sense. Like, it's not the same thing. It's not like I want his death avenged.
Yeah, that
or
was
something like
a thing that was almost like it had to happen, or the movie like
I'm
it's
hopeful,
impossible to make
I'm
it.
hopeful we get that with Ant-Man because I very much could see them killing Scott Lang in this movie.
Oh, yeah.
I think that is a good way for them to go because
Mhm.
Scott Lang could absolutely be like a better choice than Coulson 2 to avenge. And Scott Lang does die in the comics. Like,
Yeah, and Scott Lang was pivotal in fucking taking down Thanos.
and it makes Kang look scarier.
yeah,
as the
it makes
villain.
Kang look really scared. They hint at it in this trailer about that. He's like, have I killed you? And like one of those things. And you have also stature and like a full on comic accurate Wasp at this point.
Yep.
So a table's set for Scott.
It is not a comic accurate Hank Pym still, which makes me sad in some ways,
I
but
mean,
very happy in a lot of ways.
It's,
Yeah.
it would have been a little hard to do that in a Disney thing.
And you can definitely kill Scott or
Hank Pym.
You can definitely kill Hank Pym.
if
Kill all
Hank,
of them except the Wasp, maybe.
if Hank dies,
No, they could go completely.
Kill a little girl.
They could go completely downer with this and just have like all the grown-ups
his
die.
daughter's gonna live. For
I
sure.
need them to bring back the Wu.
Woo.
Yeah, Agent Wu.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
Isn't that his name?
I think so. Stand by.
I feel like that was his name.
I know who you're talking about though now.
His also did Magic Tricks. And the stepdad.
Yeah.
I enjoy the
Agent
stepdad.
Jimmy Woo from
Jimmy Woo, yeah.
Jimmy Woo.
Yeah, he was in fucking WandaVision, wasn't
Yeah, he's great. I wanted them to bring that and the stepdad.
Mm-hmm.
he? Yeah, the stepdad was a cool character.
But she's so much older now, I can understand them not needing them in the picture.
Right.
But he was a good,
He should be
Piece,
in at least
yeah.
a scene.
at least a scene, yeah. So
Beginning
yeah, so
or end.
I'm intrigued for that, and I feel like there we're gonna get like the other stakes we need, like because if you had killed M'Baku,
Mm-hmm.
like this movie has a bigger scene for me in it. And I'm not saying you have to kill people to do it, but you kind of have to kill people to make me care about things. Like, I don't know what else to say except the fact that like characters can die, and killing characters means that it creates a thing to say, these characters matter, and when I take them away, you care.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and it just makes the rest of it enriches all the rest of the characters to kill one. And to kill a beloved character is important, to be like, I'm willing to get rid of this because the story needs it. The story needs... We are flush with characters, and we have plenty of these. And you know what? Namor should punch him through the heart right there, and it shouldn't be anything else but that.
Yep.
Like, and it's a serious movie.
Mm-hmm.
And it takes it to another level. I'm not saying that's the only way to do it. I'm not saying it had to happen. I'm saying that like it didn't have something like that, and it could have used one if you wanted me to like remember this and not think of it anything more than like a send up to Chadwick Boseman.
Right.
That's all this movie really stands out to me as. It was just like a very nice tribute to Chadwick while also being, all right, Shuri is in charge now. She's the Black Panther.
It does a lot. It's just none of it is like
Is Shuri
stuff
in charge
I really
now?
go for.
Because
yeah.
Oh no,
Until-
M'Baku does come and kind of challenge the
M'Baku
throne.
That
challenges
is a
for
thing.
the throne.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't really get a conclusion on that challenge.
I think what'll happen here is that she gets to be Black Panther and he can be the King of Wakanda.
Okay.
Yeah, and that allows her to go off and do Avenger stuff.
Right. So that's my guess.
Yeah, that absolutely could be what happens. You know, I just want to see more stuff. Because this just didn't do it for me. This certainly didn't feel like a good spending of my 3 hours. This movie should have been a lot shorter for what it was, and it wasn't. And I think more people should have died. There should have been something more. As Dee was saying, there should have been stakes.
Yeah.
And I didn't get steaks. I got fucking beef jerky.
It did do something for me. I think that if there's different reasons for me to watch either Black Panther or Wakanda Forever. I think that they both have excel in sort of different areas. This does a lot of stuff that other Marvel movies can't for me. But I think that every complaint that we've had here is also a thing that is on the table, and it is way too long.
I'm also trying to remember if there were any musical cues in this movie that really stood out to me.
For me, they did. I didn't mention this, actually. One of my favorite parts about this movie was the fucking soundtrack.
Yeah,
Every song fucking slapped.
Yeah, what? I'm like, nothing's like hitting me, but like, what did we hear?
Well, there is the siren song.
There's the siren. Well, no. That.
You mean like an audio, like a song that you would hear on the radio?
Sure. Oh, okay.
Like a,
Yeah.
like
All
a
right.
mic, like a drop.
All right, I was thinking more score.
There was an acoustic version of one of Rihanna's biggest hits for the Chadwick Boseman funeral. And then there was a
Okay.
couple Hispanic pop songs and like hip hop beats that were used in the middle. And then at the end there was a couple.
was nothing particularly recognizable to me.
No?
And I just remember, like, I feel like 100%. Like in the first movie, like they dropped Run the Jewels at one point. Like,
I believe they
at
did.
Another
Yeah.
point, they dropped.
Well, I
like,
mean,
they
fucking
dropped Biggie.
Killer Mike is Atlanta through and through.
But what I'm saying is, like, yeah,
Yeah.
like were any of those in the movie? And I
No.
don't remember any. And I was
They-
like, that was kind of a little bit disappointing. I kind of
Most of the hip hop I remember from that movie, aside from the Rihanna song in the beginning, was Hispanic. So you probably wouldn't have recognized it. But for people, that's the whole theme of this movie was like the more Hispanic parts of the world, and conquistadors are really bad and did terrible things. I mean, colonization is a real
Conquistadors.
terrible part
Hot
of.
take.
that are conquistadors.
Yeah, great job.
Yeah,
They're gonna feel that burn 200 fucking years ago.
burn.
Yeah, great.
Burn
awesome.
it to the ground.
Listen, should we do letter grades?
Letter grades. Let's go. Troy, you first.
I am gonna do. I'm gonna go. I think I enjoyed this the most of everybody. I think it's a miracle that this movie is as good as it is with what it is. It's Ryan Coogler had written the entire script and then had to rewrite it all.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna go B plus.
That's what I was gonna give it to. B plus. That's
Okay.
B plus.
I was gonna say like B minus, maybe a C plus.
Cool.
Okay.
And that's not to
For
say I
an
didn't enjoy
average
it.
score
it's-
of B-ish.
Yeah, B is an average score. And I enjoyed it. I'm not.
Oh,
really,
what a surprise! Marvel's MCU new movie was middling.
it was middling. It was not amazing, but it wasn't trash.
It was on the higher end of middling, but middling fit through the middle.
Out of the
Definitely
things,
fit through the middle.
out of the things. So this
Thank
is,
you, Joker, for that
so this
wonderful
is-
impression.
So they're calling this
Joker, you know it.
So they're calling this the end of Phase 4, right? The next movie, Ant-Man, is Phase 5.
I
That's
don't know.
usually what comes after it, Troy.
I understand that. I was more asking if that's not
One,
considered 4.
2. Say it with me. 3.
Fantastic
4.
5.
No, but as far as I'm concerned, the way I'll remember Phase 4 in general, I feel like
I remember 4 because he's got a big hammer.
Good one.
the way I'll remember Phase 4 is I think Multiverse of Madness is my favorite. I like Spider-Man. I think this is probably
What about Phase
third.
Odin?
I think this is probably third.
Phase Loki.
That was a bad joke, low key.
Ah!
And then probably like Thor and then Shang-Chi.
See, we
and
changed.
then-
The turns have
and
tabled,
then no one
Troy.
gives a fuck about
Because now
Eternals.
we're annoying you.
Yeah, nah, it's fine.
I believe
Anyway,
you're right. I believe
fine.
Ant-Man is the beginning of Phase 5. I can double check that
Yes,
for you if
it's
you'd like.
They're calling it Fazae 5.
Oh, I see. They're going with the alternative pronunciation.
Fazaze Five.
Very nice. Very nice.
It's French.
I like this movie more than Thor, but not as much as Multiverse and Spider-Man. That's all I was trying to say.
More than
Cool.
more than the fourth Thor.
More than Thor 4.
More Thor.
So
They fight Gore.
Phase 5. Real quick, because
And
why not?
Korg is there.
Ant-Man and Quantumania is part 1.
Cool.
And then Guardians 3. And
Cool.
then The Marvels.
Don't
and then we
care.
get Captain America: New World Order.
Cool.
Then we get the Thunderbolts.
Okay.
And then we get Blade.
Okay.
That is
Blizzade.
Phase 5.
But Blizzade is like.
It also
2024,
consists
isn't
of
it?
the TV series Secret Invasion,
Okay.
TV series Echo,
Okay.
Loki Season 2.
Echo's the girl from Hawkeye, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Daredevil.
Ironheart Season 1. Agatha Coven of Chaos Season 1. And Daredevil
Okay.
Born Again. So that's a
He
pretty...
becomes Christian.
That seems like
Yeah,
season...
he takes on the conservative right. He takes on Middle America.
He takes on Kari
Born
Lake.
again.
Takes on Kari
Bring
Lake
it,
and,
D-Day. Bring
Lauren
it, City
Boebert.
Slicker.
Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Does that D stand for Democrat?
Oh, we got a double D over here.
Oh, man.
Oh, both those D's are for Democratic votes, I see.
Cool. Does that mean you
got a
voted
mule.
twice?
I got a mule
I got
over
one of
here.
them mules. He's stuffing votes in the ballot boxes.
Daredevil fighting the good fight.
I'm confused. He's got a D on his card, but he's dressed in red.
He's dressed in red. I don't understand.
My sensibilities are broken.
He's a white male, but he is disabled.
Maybe I shouldn't beat my wife.
What the fuck? On that note, we're ending it right now. We're gonna stop this dumpster fire before it gets out of control.
My God.
Too late.
Yeah. If you liked what you heard, please leave us a kind review on your favorite podcasting platform. It means a lot to us. It really helps. Go ahead and like and subscribe and follow us on all the fucking social medias that we're a part of. Twitter, while we still have it, while it still exists, and YouTube especially. And that concludes this episode. Thank you, Troy. Thank you, D. And rest in peace, Kevin Conroy. Fucking shit. The man died on my goddamn birthday.
Blowing out for no hope.
Fucking fuck, man.
Yeah, somebody horrible should die next, not somebody cool.
Are we taking suggestions?
No, let's not do it on the podcast. We'll talk about it after.
Billy Joe was right.
I thought you were gonna try to kill off Billy Joel.
Oh, yeah, I was like, wait.
It's only the good die young, right?
He was 65. 66?
Still not great.
Nah, yeah. Cancer sucks.